those of you listening and watching, if you've met with other financial advisors and planners and they don't ask you this type of thing, that's a big red flag. That tells me there's going to be holes in your financial and estate plan.
Okay.
Because your certified financial planner, your financial advisor should know all this stuff about you. And if you don't find it out in the first meeting, it's going to be hard to find it out in future meetings, because in future meetings you're getting into the nitty-gritty.
Sure.
Talking about investing and wills and trusts and tax planning and everything else. The other stuff that never comes into question. So we got to get it out early in the first meeting to make sure we don't miss anything.
Welcome to Today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Anchored in family values, Wayne offers practical advice to help you get the most out of your retirement years. For more information, visit todaysretirees.com. Now, here's your host.
Well, welcome to Today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Glad you have tuned in for today's program. And Wayne always likes to throw me a curveball every once in a while, because I'm a planner. I like to, not a financial planner.
You like structure.
I like structure. I like to know where I'm going. When I'm building something, I don't just start cutting wood. I actually have a plan together. And Wayne gave me a blank sheet of paper today. Well, it's not exactly blank.
Yeah, no schedule, no outline.
No outline today. So we are going to have some interesting fun. And I'm going to throw it back at him real quick. This deal with the GameStop thing, these kids that got into that, most of those guys lost their shirt, didn't they?
It depends. I mean, if they wrote it up and got out soon enough, they
got out, but a lot of these guys are holding on to it.
Well, I think the people that came in late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, are the poor souls that took a beating.
But some of those guys could have made a whole lot of money.
Oh, they did. Millions.
Did
millions,
they really?
Yeah. I mean, that's, and this is, we're Today's Retirees, right? That's the name of the show and my newsletter and that, and it's retirees. So a retiree doesn't have the luxury of gambling their life savings away.
Exactly.
Some have the luxury of throwing 10, 20 grand at something, and if you were aware of what was going on and on the internet and all the blogs and that,
sure,
you could have made a lot of money. You could have turned, 10, 20 grand into hundreds of thousands or more. But you got to be in that loop, and you got to have the money to gamble.
Right, and that's what it is, a gamble.
Yeah, but if you're reading the news and you're seeing this, and now, hey, let me buy some, and then next thing you know, 2 days later, you lost, all your money. Right. So it's not for the faint of heart.
Because that went to like $400 and some, and when they were recording this show, it's down to like $40.
Yeah, within a few days, it dropped to $40, $50.
Yeah.
So if you got, if you're selling a share, there's got to be someone to buy it.
Right.
Right. And vice versa. So if you're buying at 400, someone's selling at 400. So they might have bought it at 10, 12 or whatever, so they're making a ton of money.
Sure.
But if you're buying at 400 and now it's down to 50, your money's gone.
Right.
So that's hard to swallow.
It is. Now, this is one of the things that I like about what you do. You through the years, it's family focused retirement planning.
Retirement and tax planning.
And just like you said, when we get to a certain age, most of us don't have the luxury to gamble with our life savings.
Or the nerves or the stomach for it. Right. You might have the money, but you're done working, you're done saving in your 401ks and IRAs, 403bs, any retirement plan. You're not getting a match anymore. Right. Your salary or wages aren't coming in, and what you've saved is what you got. So investing into a GameStop or what were some of the others, AMC Theater they were talking about, and silver was another thing. And again, that's not what we're about. We don't do any of that type of investing for our clients.
Sure.
If a client asks me to buy a certain stock or ETF or gold or silver, I'll do it for them, but it's not part of the way that I manage money for my clients.
Sure. Right.
I don't like losing my clients' money.
Well, and I'm sure your clients don't like to lose their money.
Right.
But as you have said, I mean, these are things that, is in the news, we're paying attention to.
And that's what we're going to talk about is, that's why I gave you that. It's a questionnaire, and what you have in front of you is my first appointment, actual blank questionnaire that everyone I meet with, that's where we start. And it's taking it back to basics.
Okay.
Right. And a game stock is not basics, right? That's over and above what financial planning and retirement planning is.
Sure.
And the Super Bowl was recent, and we saw a veteran guy, take his team to a win with pretty basic, straightforward football.
Yes,
and it works. And the same goes with financial and retirement planning. Keeping it simple, starting with the basics, doing the basics right, and building a plan. And part of that whole thing, the key is when you gather the information from a potential client, is getting it accurate, thorough, correct, so you know your client, you know who you're working with, you know their family makeup. And what I want to do for the course of this show, and this will move into our next show also, is go down my questionnaire line by line, so people that are listening and watching can get an idea of what a first meeting's like.
Okay. And this is one of the things that if you are watching, you are listening, and maybe you haven't been listening for very long. Wayne's been doing this for many years, and we've been
25 plus
years. We've been doing the program for what, 10 probably?
10, 15, I think.
It's been a while, and one of the things that Wayne does is he helps families put together a plan that is unique to that family. It's not a cookie cutter. Every family is different. Every makeup is different. And every lifestyle is different as you age.
Most everything is different about most every family.
Right.
I mean, from hobbies to what they do for a living, to how they live their life, to how they go out to eat or not go out to eat, or vacation, or how they help their kids or don't help their kids. I mean, it's all different. Right. Each situation is unique. So a plan has to be built according to that family makeup. Sure,
absolutely. Well, friends, when we come back, we're going to be talking about this first meeting when you make an appointment. Now, you can make that appointment by going to 866-626-3990, 866-626-3990, or you can go to Wayne's website, todaysretirees.com. Todaysretirees.com. You'll find a lot of information right there. When we come back from this break, we'll be talking about this first meeting and what you can expect. We'll be back right after this.
So we've all heard the word rollover when referring to an investment account at work, or your 401k, your 403b, your 457 plan. What do you do with that when you've left your job and your 401k or other retirement plan is still at your old employer? Or what if you've retired? One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your money, your retirement account, in your employer's 401k. Quite frankly, your old employer or current employer is the boss of your retirement account. So if you have questions about what to do with your rollover, you roll it to Wayne. Get it in your own hands, where you have the whole universe of investments and choices, not just what your employer tells you can pick from. So contact my office for a free consultation on how to roll over your old retirement account. I'm Wayne Maslyk. I'm a certified financial planner and registered investment advisor, president of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We do financial planning, retirement planning, and estate planning, but we also prepare your taxes. For $90, you get a CPA prepared tax return. Even if you have rentals or a small business, you're an independent contractor of some sort, and your financial advisor communicates with your CPA, you'll wind up paying less taxes over time. There won't be any mistakes because everyone's kept in the loop. But you have to be over the age of 62. You have to have a net worth of $250,000. See, that's my ideal client. So a good way to meet you is to get started by doing your taxes at a very discounted rate. Give the office a call, 419-626-3900, or our Lorain County office, 440-934-3141. Check us out on the web, todaysretirees.com. Just get a hold of us, set your time. We'll take care of your taxes this year for $90.
And welcome back to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Today we are talking about your first appointment. When you call that number, 866-626-3990, and you set up an appointment to come in and talk to Wayne and his staff about what you are going to be doing, you've got a questionnaire.
Yeah, and it's not just me. I mean, people work with other financial planners and advisors. Mm-hmm. And if you had a meeting with them or multiple meetings and they're not asking you what I'm about to show you, I ask clients, mm-hmm. that should be a red flag with what you've done to this point. Because if you're working with a planner, preferably a certified financial planner, they need to know this stuff in order to help you put together a proper plan, to achieve your goals and objectives up to retirement and through retirement.
Mm-hmm. Now, when someone comes in, I mean, ideally you'd like to see Mr. and Mrs., come in, or
if they're a couple.
If mm-hmm. they're a couple, right. I mean, there's
at least eventually. I mean, sometimes the Mr. goes and checks things out. Mm-hmm. That's great, no problem. Sometimes the Mrs. does. Sometimes one of the spouses handles everything. Mm-hmm. They just let me do, they trust me, But even that, I mean, that's okay initially, but at some point, we have to get the other spouse in if there is one.
Sure. So when you look at this, your first part of this, to me is just some very basic information. Mm-hmm. Who you are. Mm-hmm.
That's what you'd think. It's true. I mean, it's, we have names, right? We have mm-hmm. a client name on here, and you'll notice right next to that we have a nickname. Mm-hmm. If the person's name is William, maybe he likes to be called, Bill, or he has another nickname. Mm-hmm. Same with if the wife's name is Susan. Do you call her Susan or Sue or, right? Margaret, do you call her Ann or Margaret? So you want to, I want to respect my clients, mm-hmm. prospective clients, and call them by what they want to be called.
Sure.
So I don't know. That's not a normal thing to ask someone. Oh, your name's Wayne. Do you go by Wayne? Right. Or do you go by, my middle name, Ken or Kenneth, right?
Sure. So
you need to, I like to know that, mm-hmm. right? And then on the same line, we ask their birth date, their age. We do like to see the ages and the age difference between spouses. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes it's a common month. If someone's in December, I have 2 sons born in December. It's just nice to know that
Sure,
stuff.
Absolutely.
Another reason is it helps us for required minimum distributions. If they're in their 70s or approaching it, we know we have to plan for potential minimum distributions for the withdrawals from retirement accounts mm-hmm. that the IRS makes you do.
Right.
In that same line, you're assuming they're married. So on this very same line, we're only 2 lines in, Mr.'s mm-hmm. name and Mrs.'s name, and age and nicknames. I ask them if their original marriage.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
Very important. Have they been divorced? Have they been widowed, remarried? Mm-hmm. Is this second marriage, third marriage, right? And that's very important to know. I asked if there's been a prenuptial agreement, if it's their second or third marriage.
Okay.
Right? And that's just that little blurb takes 5-10 minutes, sometimes longer if there's a family story behind it.
Right.
It's also important if they're divorced or widowed, how long they were married to their first spouse for Social Security purposes. If you were married to somebody for a period of 10 years or more, you may have benefits from their Social Security benefits. Mm. There's certain instances where you could be married to a new person and claim on your other spouse's Social Security benefits.
Okay.
While living or as a widow or widower's benefit.
I see.
So all that literally is just those first couple lines of the questionnaire.
Sure.
It's important stuff.
Yeah, it is important stuff. Yeah. I mean, we've talked in past about some things that happen if you don't know all of those things.
Yeah. I mean, there's been people we've met with, and, they were married to their first spouse for so many years, and they're on this meager Social Security, and it's like, why aren't you claiming on your previous spouses, right? They were an engineer or a high wage earner. Mm-hmm. You're entitled to their benefits, right? And certain,
Sure.
the circumstance has to be correct. There's certain rules the IRS has and
Right.
the Social Security Administration does. But we've run across, quite a few that were able to reapply and get spousal benefits, even though they weren't married to them for decades.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it is, all of this stuff helps you help us, help your client.
Yeah, it's important. And this is, just the beginning stages. You'll see on the second lines, I want to know what their occupation is or was,
Mm-hmm.
and if they're retired or still working. I'd like to know what companies they work for, what their profession is. Do we have an engineer? Do we have a salesperson? Do we have a nurse?
Mm-hmm.
An RN or LPN, doctor, whatever it is. I like to know the person I'm working with and what their background is as far as their previous employers
Mm-hmm.
and their previous or current profession.
Okay. And I'm thinking this helps you put your plan together.
Well, again, there's the plan. Putting a plan together comes way after this.
Okay, all right.
This is just pure back to basics, learning about the family, learning about their makeup, their history,
Mm-hmm.
all things that are important for future meetings. You'll see I have a stack of things here. This comes in subsequent meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Not there's things we'll cover in future shows where we go over the questionnaires and the processes of future meetings.
Okay.
All I'm doing in the first meeting is getting a snapshot of where they are up to this point in time.
Sure.
That's what I want to find out the first meeting.
Right.
And you'll see we're only a couple lines in, and I already know a lot about the folks.
Right. Absolutely. Well, friends, we have to take a little break. You can set up an appointment to go and start this process with Wayne by going to the phone, 866-626-3990. 866-626-3990. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Wayne Maslyk. I'm a certified financial planner and registered investment advisor, president of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We do financial planning, retirement planning, and estate planning, but we also prepare your taxes. For $90, you get a CPA prepared tax return. Even if you have rentals or a small business, you're an independent contractor of some sort, and your financial advisor communicates with your CPA, you'll wind up paying less taxes over time. There won't be any mistakes because everyone's kept in the loop. But you have to be over the age of 62. You have to have a net worth of $250,000. See, that's my ideal client. So a good way to meet you is to get started by doing your taxes at a very discounted rate. Give the office a call, 419-626-3900, or our Lorain County office, 440-934-3141. Check us out on the web, todaysretirees.com. Just get a hold of us, set your time. We'll take care of your taxes this year for $90. So we've all heard the word rollover when referring to an investment account at work, or your 401k, your 403b, your 457 plan. What do you do with that when you've left your job and your 401k or other retirement plan is still at your old employer? Or what if you've retired? One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your money, your retirement account, in your employer's 401k. Quite frankly, your old employer or current employer is the boss of your retirement account. So if you have questions about what to do with your rollover, you roll it to Wayne. Get it in your own hands where you have the whole universe of investments and choices, not just what your employer tells you can pick from. So contact my office for a free consultation on how to roll over your old retirement account.
Today's retirees with certified financial planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Today we are talking about, and probably for the next show or two, about the first meeting. When you go and see Wayne for the first time, when you pick up that phone at 866-626-3990, and you set up an appointment with Wayne's staff and go in and meet with Wayne, some of the things that, well, not some of the things, what he is going to want from you, especially on that first meeting, Wayne.
Yeah, and people always ask, oh, what should we bring? You know, what do you need? I don't need anything. I just need the people.
Just your memory.
Just memory or just, whatever. All I want to learn about is where they're at this point in their lives, what they've done up until this day. And it's important to know. And I'm looking for ways I can help them, looking for flaws, red flags. You know, we talked in the first segment or two about if the couple had previous marriages or multiple or widow. You know, it's all very important things just to know up front.
Sure.
And what they like to be called, you know, etc.
Sure.
You know, I find out as in the last clip what they do for a living, what company they work for. You know, some companies still have pensions, and some companies have certain type of retirement plans. So when I learn the name of the company, I'm familiar with many companies, you know, that you know, a lot of my clients have worked for. So it's good to know a client's background. Then I ask where they live, right? Their address. You know, anyone that comes with us is going to be on my newsletter list. You know, if they come see us, we want to get the right address.
And that's a free newsletter.
Of course, yeah, free newsletter. Get it online, digitally, or paper mail. Most of my clients like the paper mail. They like unfolding it. You know, looking at all of our recipes and my monthly message and that.
Sure, absolutely.
So we get email address and then the phone number they like to be called on. You know, is it their cell phone? Is it you know, their landline, or is it Mr. cell phone? Is it Mrs.? Is it Mr.'s email? Is it Mrs. email? All that's important just for future communication. You know, we don't want to be emailing the Mr. and, you know, Mrs. does all the appointment scheduling or all the communication because Mr. never checks his email. So we want to get the proper email and proper cell phone or telephone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that would be important.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed the next section that you have in here is children.
Right. If they have kids.
Right.
I mean, most people, the children are their lives, right? I mean, that's just...
Or their grandchildren.
The grandchildren, that's the same segment. So, you see, I ask for the names of the children. I want the first names. I don't even ask for last names. I don't care about last names. But I ask if they're married, single, or divorced, right? If they're children.
Okay.
And then I want to know the rough age of the children. I don't need birthdays or anything. How old are their kids? Are they in their 50s, 40s, 30s? And then I want to know if their kids, have children. And I want to know ages, you know, how many children they have and the ages. And we get it. So that's going to give me a nice makeup of the family. Now, going back to the very first lines where we ask for names, you know, the names of the people and if they've been married before, right? Now, with the children, I want to know whose children are whose.
Oh, sure.
Because with previous marriages or, you know, widowers remarried, they're going to have children by other people in those cases.
Sure.
You know, and I want to know whose are whose. And some are, this is Misters, these kids are Mrs.
Sure.
These kids are both because they've been married for, you know, 20 or 25 years since the previous marriages. Very important. Super important when setting up an estate plan.
Okay.
So if they do have kids from previous marriages, that's a red flag right there that will then be at a later meeting on my action plan, my action items that we need to address and consider. Because if Mr. was married and had 2 kids and then got remarried and she has 2 kids and the new spouse, now they're married for years now, but doesn't like or get along with Mr.'s kids.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
Mr. leaves everything to Mrs. She says, thank you, I'm leaving everything to my 2 kids. And doesn't leave anything to his kids. So his kids got gypped. And that happens with improper estate planning. Okay. So that's why I asked about previous marriages, whose kids are whose. And then another very important question is there any or are there any special needs with any of your children or grandchildren? Right? Is there any, you know, handicap, disabilities, anything like that?
Okay, sure.
And if there is, that's a whole different area of focus with the estate plan. How do we leave that loved one, that heir, money? Or should we? If there's no estate plan and you leave someone with special needs money, well, it's going to cause them potentially to lose certain benefits, government benefits, or anything they may be receiving from the state or federal government. You have to leave them funds and inheritance in a special way.
Okay.
So, again, this is just the first half of the first page. This page is front and back.
Right.
And I've already learned a lot about the family members and the family makeup.
Absolutely.
And if those of you listening and watching, if you've met with other financial advisors and planners and they don't ask you this type of thing, that's a big red flag. That tells me there's going to be holes in your financial and estate plan.
Okay.
Because your certified financial planner, your financial advisor should know all this stuff about you. And if you don't find it out in the first meeting, it's going to be hard to find it out in future meetings, because in future meetings you're getting into the nitty-gritty.
Sure.
Talking about investing and wills and trusts and tax planning and everything else. The other stuff that never comes into question. So we got to get it out early in the first meeting to make sure we don't miss anything.
Absolutely. Well, I can see where it's vitally important. And friends, when you call that number, 866-626-3990, you'll be talking to probably one of Wayne's staff members. They'll take care of you. Set up an appointment. You can come in and you can talk to Wayne and his staff and go through this and make sure your plan is correct for your family. That's what Wayne does. Helps you put together a plan that works for you. Pick up that phone, 866-626-3990, or go to that website, todaysretirees.com. We'll see you the next time.
I'm Wayne Maslyk. I'm a certified financial planner and registered investment advisor, president of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We do financial planning, retirement planning, and estate planning, but we also prepare your taxes. For $90, you get a CPA prepared tax return. Even if you have rentals or a small business, you're an independent contractor of some sort, and your financial advisor communicates with your CPA, you'll wind up paying less taxes over time. There won't be any mistakes because everyone's kept in the loop. But you have to be over the age of 62. You have to have a net worth of $250,000. See, that's my ideal client. So a good way to meet you is to get started by doing your taxes at a very discounted rate. Give the office a call, 419-626-3900, or our Lorain County office, 440-934-3141. Check us out on the web, todaysretirees.com. Just get a hold of us, set your time. We'll take care of your taxes this year for $90.
Thanks for tuning in to Today's Retirees with certified financial planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Visit todaysretirees.com or call 866-626-3990 to schedule a no-cost appointment with Wayne. Today's Retirees is brought to you by Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management, family-focused retirement and tax planning services, anchored in family values. Information and opinions discussed on Today's Retirees do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this station. Opinions expressed should not be substituted for individualized consultation with a qualified financial advisor. For specific information, call 866-626-3990 or visit todaysretirees.com.